Thank you for joining us with In the Lane Sports Talk with Jerome Lane. Jerome is not with us this week as we continue to celebrate the 35th anniversary of him breaking the glass for the University of Pitt. Continue to listen as we talk about the Ed Reed controversy at Bethune-Cookman University. The program is already in progress. Thank you.
Put me on a map.
Yeah, I used to have a wood shop.
Yeah, man, because I had access to my daddy's car. He said, but, in order to drive it, you got to fix it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I said, I better book those auto mechanics then.
That was your sole purpose of getting into school?
Well, I was a car guy at that time. But, it gave me access to, it gave me access. And hell, I think most of my learnings in that class was from working on that old car.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. That's the first transmission I ever pulled out.
The only thing I made in wood shop was a cutting board. Everything was good except for when it got to the little handle. It had a shape to it. My mom said what happened. I couldn't tell her that my mind was on this girl that was in front of me when I was sanding the handle. And I sanded it too much, and it was thick.
It was warped, in other words.
Yes,
Low spots. It was waving.
Was she able to cut some meat?
Whoa.
Oh, yes. She had.
Wait a minute.
Good thing you wasn't in the auto body when you was doing all that sanding. You'd have sanded the whole fender off.
Yeah, I probably would have.
Yeah, you'd have sanded the whole fender off.
I don't even know how we got started on this subject here, but all right.
Trying to make a little something,
little light out of something there.
For Jerome,
Oh, yeah. So we are. It started with us talking about presenting Jerome Lane, our friend and partner here, with something for his 35th anniversary of breaking the glass. Jerome is not with us right here today. He is.
He's busy.
He's unavailable. It was a long week. For that cat.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to him. He was emotional. It was a great time, though. But we'll come back to that.
Did he get emotional?
It was a great time.
I heard it was pretty good.
It was a very, very nice time. It was a lot of love. It was really a lot of love, man.
A lot of love in the house.
It was white, black, old, young.
Was any faculty there that was there when it happened?
That's a good question. All I know. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got
Coaches.
a lot of folks that came back and played, and now they work for the school.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So
Yeah, I was just wondering, was anyone there that actually witnessed it?
Yeah, you're from the school standpoint or in general? Because there was a lot of people in general. It was
well, the administration for the school. I was wondering, was any of them there that's still there, or either came back just for the.
So Sam Clancy, who was a Pittsburgh basketball star, but actually got drafted in the NFL, played defensive end. I think it was with the Colts, the Browns. He was there. He kind of worked with us and walked us around, and we had a good time with Sam. Mm-hmm. But he's a big guy in the school. And they've got a few people that came back. Curtis Akins, who was his teammate. Ron was a freshman, and Curtis was a senior. He was there. We hung out. Kurt got a phenomenal cigar bar in Pittsburgh and very successful in some other things here. So
that's great.
So those individuals, we got to speak to a lot of newscasters, folks that actually covered the game, and we did a bunch of interviews. And I'd say it jokingly, but Jerome, we kind of ran him ragged. He wanted to take a time out midway through the day. I said, Jerome, you can't take a time out, man. We're going on TV, man.
I got the pleasure last week to watch that on YouTube. Because I believe it or not, and I hate to say it, I'd never seen that before.
Oh.
Or if I did, I probably forgot about it,
Okay.
But I was had the pleasure to watch that on YouTube a week ago.
Okay.
And it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was right. As he told you last week, he broke the glass. They replaced the glass. They was out for half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy came up. He was the actual photographer that took the photo.
Mm.
And he showed, I got a photo of it, but he made a 3D remnant, if you will, of the photo. And it's a nice piece, man.
Mm-hmm.
He made a 3D remnant of it in conjunction with gave away glasses to 1,000, 2,000 folks, free T-shirts. Everybody had on 34 lane. It was a nice sight.
So it was a beautiful turnout.
It was a beautiful turnout. Beautiful turnout. So
That's great.
definitely look at Upscale Media Group and Upscale Entertainment.
Now, did it take place in the gymnasium?
It did.
Same gymnasium that it,
Well,
or had it been?
Not that gymnasium.
Not that
because,
gymnasium.
Yeah, now the Peterson Center, which is a phenomenal building, they built that recently. So, but it was a nice piece.
Does the old gymnasium still exist?
That's a good question. I kind of doubt it. Pittsburgh has done a lot of renovation,
Yeah.
and University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, just like Suma, taking over the whole city.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Taking over everywhere you look is UPMC.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was important to kind of see. And they got a $1 billion project they're working on. So it's a lot of money in Pittsburgh. But the funny thing is, Pittsburgh doesn't have a pro basketball team, so the University of Pittsburgh is like gods up there. That's the closest thing to.
Yeah, I guess.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so
I
they
guess
love
so.
them. I mean, you see everybody in Pittsburgh, and they spend money.
Right.
So, and we know the Pittsburgh mentality of their fans, man. You just look at the Steelers. So
Right. Diehards.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Diehards.
absolutely.
But yeah, it was a good game. We caught them against Wake Forest. A couple scares. They was up about 17 points a couple of times. They ended up winning by 2, but it got close, and
Well, just as long as they won.
they won.
Yeah,
They won.
yeah. What kind of point guard they had?
You know what? They had a couple of. They actually got some tall guys there. They posted. I think it was. I don't want to give out number. I think it was 25. Number 25 and number 2 was solid.
Okay.
And
okay.
they got
Are they
under-
new? But I mean, is most of the team like new players, or is there
No.
some veteran players?
I think, if I recall, for the most part, sophomores and juniors.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who the senior was, but yeah, they got some big jokers there, man.
Yeah. So any aggression? I mean, as far as aggressive players, are they pretty aggressive players in the paint? As far as
They went. Yes and no, I'll say. There's room for improvement. If I recall, they're 14-7, maybe 15-7 now.
Okay.
Their only downfall, I think they was 7-3 in the conference, and you got Miami and somebody else. They 10-0 in the conference, and Miami plays them tomorrow. And they're at home, but we'll see how they do at home.
Any of the players look pro bound?
That's a very good question.
Because you could tell when one is just destined
Yeah, that's a good
to
question.
make it.
I would say, given the next year or so, will make the determination. I think the Big East or ACC, whatever now, they are fighting for positioning, and they've always been in a position to kind of be dominant in basketball. But we want to see how they're looking at. Of course, when we're
Right.
looking at Big Ten and all those other conferences, they always have taken a toll here.
Yeah, star material don't seem like to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it seems like to me, star material don't come around as often as it did back. We talking like 10 years. Go back 10 years, where star players was popping up. You can spot a star player like, it was coming up like it'd be pretty easy to spot. Guys that had the potential to be a star, so to speak, in so many ways. You know what I mean? As far as their abilities and everything like that stands out. Now I don't know. It depends on. I guess it depends on the university. Depends on. I don't know. Got a lot to do with on the West Coast, East Coast. I don't know. Got something to do with it or
No. The problem is, like you say, 10 years ago, ball players stayed in school 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Now with this one and done and overseas in the G League, a lot of them are opting out of college.
Right.
The opportunity to get paid sooner is there, and most of your stars go to Kentucky and Carolinas and Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Arizona, USC. But basically that one and done has where you can follow a player and really see him develop, have time to develop in college. But now they're coming out as freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
But then we don't see like we used to.
Exactly.
So that's the problem now, especially with this G League. A lot of star players from high school are going straight to the G League.
Going straight to the yep. I agree with that.
So that's why you can't tell. Then just like, for instance, Evan Mobley, how long did he stay at USC?
Yeah, I don't know how
1 year.
about a year.
But look at him. He's has the potential to be a star, but he got to grow. He got to put meat on them little bones.
Yeah, he got to put
because the big boys are bullying him.
Right.
Small forwards that got muscle is bullying him.
Right. Well, it's a very aggressive game now, So you have to be able to bring it. You got to have some.
What hampers Pittsburgh is they're in the Big East and Villanova.
Yeah.
They're always strong. Connecticut, they're always strong. So their challenge is they don't look at Pittsburgh as a basketball school. Pittsburgh is a football school.
Okay.
And that's the difference. So your better players don't go to Pittsburgh to play basketball. They go to Pitt to play football. If there's a hooper, they go into Villanova. They go into Connecticut. They go to, if they go in that league, that's the difference.
Okay.
So it might be some decent players come out from that team, but not like the basketball schools.
Right. I got you. Okay. Well, you educating me because I don't really follow the college games like I probably should, but I don't know. I don't follow the college games that often. I mean more so watching the pros. And everything, and it's probably something I probably should be doing is checking out the college games more. I would have a better understanding of who's who.
College games are basketball.
Yeah, I'm
pros is entertainment.
Yeah. They play a little bit harder. I agree. They play a little bit harder because they're trying to get there. They're trying to make it.
They play real basketball.
Yeah, they play harder. Yeah, they're trying to get there. I agree with that.
I do agree.
So
I agree with that.
When I coach my kids, and I tell them, when I want them to learn something, do not watch a pro game.
That makes sense.
Watch college, or better yet, watch the girls play, because they are fundamentally sound. They play bad. They play team ball. They're not selfish. Their ball moves around. They're where they're supposed to be on a pick and roll. They call it out. Pros don't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that's the difference.
Sense.
You heard it from the freak right there. Now you know about watching the girls. you heard it from the freak, and I think Timbo, his partner over there, can co-sign that.
Hey, so much we didn't give him a mic today. So we better.
But he's smiling. He's taking it all.
He's smiling.
He'll be on the next segment.
I think he's happy to be micless today.
Yeah, that might be good there.
Yeah, you happy to be micless today? He nodded yes.
Yeah,
he nodded yes.
Yeah, so we doing it like that.
Yeah.
These cats here.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't have my phone on vibrate.
We ought to find you, man.
Don't find me, please.
Start finding these cats here. For those folks in this listening here, we normally have the phones on vibrate. So.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I still didn't put it on vibrate, but it's going on vibrate now.
We'll do that. Do
all right.
It's modern technology, man. Some people still struggling trying to figure it out.
And I'm one of them. I am
Is
one
that Bo
of them.
Fizzle? Bo?
Hey, my mother still has a phone that plugs in the wall.
Yeah. What you say, Timbo?
That iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling.
Yeah. Me too, man.
All right, we doing that there. What we getting into next?
Hey man, I mean, I'm wide open, man. Let's yeah, we can talk about anything, man. Whatever topic you want to put out there.
Should we speak on Ed Reed?
Why not? Dog, hold on, let's talk about Ed Reed. So fellas, let's for those that don't know, Ed Reed, former one of my favorite college teams, Hurricane, who went on to be the chief of staff at Miami's football program, and we might as well call him interim head coach because he didn't ink the deal.
Yeah.
Presumed head coach. Is
Right.
that fair to say? I want to get y'all thoughts on this because Ed Reed, heck of a pro ball player. You got Prime Time that was over at Jackson State. You got Hugh Jackson, who's over at Grambling, former Browns coach. Do we bring celebrity coaches to these HBCUs? Are we wrong to expect the HBCUs? I'm open, man, because I got so many thoughts on this thing. I think if you seek out and you accept a Prime Time or an Ed Reed coming to your school, is there a certain level of, for lack of better terms, respect when he's coming there to put in thing? Ed complained about the conditions, the field, his office when he got there was dirty. He complained about a bunch of things, and he was vocal about it. He went on a rant. Freak, what's your thoughts on that? You a coach. Tell me your thoughts on that.
He was wrong.
He was wrong.
For the simple fact, he's going to a school that doesn't have the backing and the money that the other schools have. So when you accept this job, you accept everything that comes with it. So when you went for your interview and you saw all this, you should have ran it there, not to the public, but to the people that's trying to hire you. You are big time. You're going back to give back. So you give back. You don't air your laundry to the public.
Fellas, what's your thoughts? Because I got a different thought from that. But what's your thoughts, Frankie?
Well, I think, and I agree with Freak there as far as on the giving back piece, because I think he should. But anytime you get a celebrity, we talking about celebrity coming from and maybe from a college standpoint, want to get a celebrity to come in and coach a team or whatever the case may be. If you got to remember too, on the business side of it, what's going on the business side of that there, see? Because it's a form of somewhat of some nostalgia there, or what should I say, strategizing from the business end, from the top office, from the university part standpoint of it. Because just think about it, they get a celebrity from another team or somebody that was big, somebody that was really raising some hell. And what you do, you think, what they're thinking from their thoughts is, well, we get this celebrity here to coach this team. What it's going to do for the university from, a larger scale. You know what I mean? In terms of them being there, just being the coach and taking over and working, with the team. So, I think it's somewhat of a strategy on the university standpoint, because they're going to they're thinking you understand. We got this a celebrity coach that's coaching the team. Who don't want to be coached by someone that's know what I mean. So it's like putting rims on a car, man. Come on,
Bland. Okay. So you taking, and we've all seen the raggedy cars, and you put the $1,000, $1,500 rims on it, and you just ride. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, to some degree.
Okay.
to some degree. I mean, and we're talking, somewhat from a business standpoint.
Notoriety to the school.
Notoriety, bringing a notoriety to the school. I mean, but I agree with Freak though. What I'm saying, that what he said, earlier, that he should come. His mindset should be there to come to be able to give and bring back and give back to whatever capacity he can to help that team or to help that school. Not so much to help the school, but to help that team and those students. I mean, those players, prosper. That's what it all should be all about. I mean,
I agree. No, I agree with that. And Blad, I'm gonna get your take, but I think his debate was a little different from that. Freak said he shouldn't have aired his dirty laundry. If you've got family coming in and they're going to stay at your house for 2 weeks, your mama going to tell you to clean the house up before your family get there, right?
Right, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Reed came and said, these jokers ain't said nothing, they ain't did nothing. I'm the head coach, and my office is filthy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say he was wrong, but
that's
I ain't gonna say
my
he was
business.
Well, he feel he can do that though.
But
That's not my business.
it's not your business.
It's not my business know that your office or your home is nasty. If I go home and my house is nasty, I'm going to who's supposed to have cleaned it up. I don't want my friends. I don't want my partners to know my house is nasty.
Right. But that's his prerogative, though. If he's
wrong.
If he chooses to do that, that's his prerogative to do that.
You trying to tell me this man did not know that house was dirty before he accepted the job?
That could be fair. That could definitely be fair.
He may
There's
have.
There's no way he accepted this job over the phone. He has to understand that an HBCU school are 20 years behind your normal university. So you must take the good with the bad. Dion ran it. Primetime ran it, but he ran it in the right way. Ed Reed did not. That's the difference between him and Dion.
Dion and Ed Reed. Okay, yeah.
That's the difference. I'm not going to bash a black university because I'm mad because my office is messed up. I'm going to get with the people in charge and we're going to sit down. How can we make this better? How can I bring my fellow football players to get donations to make this better? That's what Primetime did.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But was the conditions with Primetime as bad as the conditions?
We don't know.
We don't know this. And what we do know,
it's not our business.
Right. But what we do know is obviously Ed Reed is an emotional man. Hold on. He went there. He went there for the children. He wants to help the children.
Want to help the kids. He loves
And
kids.
I'm on the fence with him. I disagree with what he did, and I agree with what he did also.
That's
Right.
Because to me, it sounds like he really spoke from his heart. Did he do it the right way? Probably not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think the school is going to come out better.
Yeah.
That this has been exposed. Should he expose it? He should have went to the tops of the administration first.
Exactly.
But then again, even though that's a what do you call it? HBCU. It's still a business.
Yeah.
It's still a business. So you got to understand, every business that you know of in the world, every corporation, the top people of those corporations are making money.
That's right.
They're making money.
That's right.
And a lot that they take, they're not giving back. We all know this.
Yeah.
We know this about every major corporation in the world. They take more than they give back.
That's right.
And I think that school could have been different. I think it was disrespectful that they didn't at least clean his office when he's coming there to help that school.
Right.
He's coming there to help that school. And I think some things could have been done. And they're crying about, I'm not going to say they're crying about, but I understand that they don't have the same funding.
Yeah, you got to understand that.
I understand that, but there are some things that can be done. There's some little things. Little things can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't 100% agree with the message or how he sent the message out, but however, the message got sent out. And I think overall, at the end of the day, the school is going to end up better. Even if they never pick him back up, I think those kids will have a better environment
How?
because of what he did.
How?
Well, because I think you got top administrations. Some of the heads might get chopped.
Yeah, now they won't.
Right, and they don't want that embarrassment.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do in their power what they can do to make it better. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect. There's no perfect school, but I think they're going to give a running shot at making it much better because they've been exposed.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, some top heads was reaping the benefits of that money, and they weren't giving it back. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So Freak. With that being said,
That's right.
Regardless of how he brought that to the light, you're saying there's nothing positive coming out of that?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's not for Ed Reed.
What's not?
He's
fair?
done.
I don't even know.
done.
Well, he may have done more
Ed
for the
Reed-
school by exposing them,
But he's
than being
done.
their coaching.
But he's done.
But
He's done.
He's done it
he's done there.
at Bethune.
He's
done
done
there.
coaching.
done coaching.
No.
No.
You trying to tell me?
No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
No,
You trying to tell me?
no, I disagree on that.
No.
I
He
disagree.
couldn't be done. I don't.
He's done. Who's gonna hire
think
him?
Done. I don't think
He's done.
that's just like the president.
In the
being
days,
called-
in the days of society, and the people that will be that rules that power, they do not want no one like
so you
Ed
think
Reed.
he's blackballed?
Yes.
I don't think so. I
We'll
don't
see.
think so. He's got a lot of sympathizers out there, including
But they ain't in charge.
including their own kids from the
They're
school.
not in charge.
But voices
The
are being
people-
heard now.
The people that's in charge do not want no one like this to go out and rant. They're not bringing him on board
Well-
in case their laundry is dirty.
There it is.
okay.
There it is. So,
So
if
they would not give him a chance to tell on them.
But
Oh,
it's-
they would proceed
but-
with caution. Anybody else would
right.
definitely
But
proceed.
but a school that has their I's dotted and T's crossed, I think they'll welcome him aboard.
Yeah.
He's
If,
black.
if they feel that
He's
if
black.
they feel that he can help.
He's coaching
He's
black though.
black.
He's coaching black.
And no
Right.
other,
He's
no other,
coaching black.
no
That's right,
other
that's right.
school, no other HBC,
No.
you gonna give him a chance.
The black community is not going to turn their back on him.
He ain't.
No.
Roland Martin,
I have to agree.
has done a whole series all week on him.
I don't believe
Roland standing. They actually what's come out is that the top brass has come after Roland Martin, and now Roland Martin is saying, "Hey, if that's the case, if we had these issues, why didn't you deal with this yourself as opposed to not moving forward with his contract, as opposed to saying he doesn't have the right to talk about his contract, and not to mention talking about one of the people that was tied in with Ed Reed, who's an attorney, was a disbarred attorney. So you've got the top brass scrambling now, basically saying, okay, all this might have happened, but here's why we didn't do what we did do.
And let's say he is done. But I think a positive note that comes out of this, I think other schools are going to pick it up a pace and try to make better.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's opened other schools' eyes to say,
Yeah.
wait a minute, we can't conduct business like this.
Yeah.
So even if he is done, something positive did come out of it.
Right.
could be
right.
true.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
and I
not
can
gonna
accept that.
I'm not going to disagree.
I can accept that.
Yeah.
You know, he may have lost the fight, but I think he won the war.
I just don't think it was
Because
well
I think it's
thought
going to
out.
make other school conditions better.
You know, it wasn't well thought out. I
It
think
wasn't. That's true.
It wasn't
That's
thought
true.
out.
from the get.
Everybody's personality and feelings is different. Everyone's unique. Some people don't handle, every situation the same person. Another one will.
Right.
And through the hype of it all, I mean, that joker might have been riding down the street and it just hit him. So you don't know what it was.
Right. You don't know what. That's right. That's right.
It wasn't he wasn't sitting here.
as a person, a leader of men, you cannot do that. Every plan, every thought has to be well thought out. You cannot go off the handle if you plan on leading young men to become a man.
Sometimes situations
That's good.
need to be exposed.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I think
I'm not saying that.
That's the
There's
blueprint.
a right and a wrong way to do it.
That's true.
As a leader, you have to think before you speak.
That's the blueprint. However, that blueprint is, I won't say rarely, not followed a great deal. Mm-hmm. It's the blueprint out in business. Don't don't get emotional. That's business.
Well, you want to make
happen?
calculated decisions. You have to calculate every decision that you make when you in a situation like that, or you in a position,
A public figure.
You have to exactly. You have to be calculated. You have to think calculated all the time. But you got to also remember that these people is human beings. We like to think that we control our destiny as men. We like to think so, but then do we?
As a coach, we're still coaching. 27 years. I have to watch what I say. I have to watch how I act. And I have to think before I speak, dealing with youth and hot-head teenagers.
I agree.
You said youth and
hot-head
youth
teenagers.
I agree.
That's paramount.
That's fair. I agree.
That's
So
true, but
And like D said earlier, that's the blueprint.
That's
Right.
the blueprint.
That is the blueprint, and I
for
agree.
him, this is first coaching.
But that's in the perfect world.
This is
bingo. That's the perfect world.
No
You
perfect
just said it.
world. This
That's
is
the
his
perfect
first
world.
coaching job,
That's in the
right?
perfect world.
This is his first coaching job. Right.
Correct.
Right or wrong.
Yeah.
And experience. It's when you come from playing defense, Henry was defensive player, right? Safety, cornerback. Aggressive.
Well, he's a defensive coordinator. Was that?
I don't know.
In what capacity there? Do you know, D?
I'm gonna look it up now.
So his emotion, he's a different type of breed. But now you take on a head coaching job. There's no perfect world, but you have to live perfect in yourself to lead properly. And you must always think in the backlash, if I say this, what type of backlashes am I going to get? What is this? How's the people I'm supposed to lead going to look at me
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we have to
as a leader?
think further than the end of our nose. That's always being planning ahead, I guess, so to speak, and knowing each calculated move is going to take you there. That move is going to take you here, and then from here we're going to get us to where we're trying to go. And I agree with that. But oftentimes we sidestep sometimes because we're human beings. I don't want to come too hard on him because, like I said, and in the content that he said, and like he said earlier, I mean, he make mistakes. People make mistakes. People slip. Okay, it was done, and it was not so much what he was said or how he aired his dirty line. It was the content and the timing of it.
It was all wrong.
Yeah, it's more than anything else.
but-
You agree with that, D? You understand what?
This is true, but like I said, my take of it there is that he came there and the conditions he saw compared to the conditions of the top administrators. That's what I think he's kind of. That's what I think he's kind of weighing. How much milking was the top administrators doing?
Right.
That might be.
And not doing anything. Now that might be he may have been to all those big time people's houses, and I'm sure they live in many mansions or mansions.
Right.
And he's looking at how they're living. They might be driving Bentleys, might be driving Jaguars, who knows?
Right.
But then he goes to that school and he's like, well, looks like you're doing nothing but taking.
Taking.
What's the guy's name? Dr. Who's over there? Drake?
Yeah,
I'm sure he's got a lifestyle like the rich and famous. I'd be willing to bet on that.
1 point something.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be willing to bet on that. And I guess in some situations it can make a man emotional. Just like you go to your job and all they want to pay you is minimum wage.
Right.
But you look at this CEO and he makes billions. You know what I'm saying? He's making billions. And your work situation, your work environment might be nasty, dirty. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's being you. But that's why unions are in effect. But everyone doesn't have a union. Ed Reed doesn't have a union to back him up. Unions make noise. They go about things politically incorrect also.
Yeah.
You know, here's a man, he's like, I got to fight this by myself.
Yeah.
Like I say, once again, I don't agree with how he did it, but I think at the end of the day, that it's going to be a bright light shining at the end of the tunnel. I think that school is going to come out better by the way he did it, as opposed to him going and having a private meeting with the top administrators to say this needs to be done, that needs to be done. Because we know what happens when that. We know the answers already.
Oh yeah,
we'll get to it.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
So this is
We'll
one of the
get to it.
situations.
Checks in the
bro.
mail. We couldn't get to it now. We couldn't do this then. But dude, you just took a vacation over to the Bahamas.
Right.
You and
right.
you and the rest of the crew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
So I mean, you know,
why you gonna keep sweeping us underneath the rug? We know that's what happens.
Right.
We know. Every job I worked at, I go to complain. They say we'll take care of it. It never gets taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, they might have appeased him in a couple ways. They might have mopped his office.
Yeah.
Might have threw a fresh paint. What does it cost to paint the walls?
Right. Put a bandage on a wound for a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
May last for a minute.
And maybe he's experienced this type situations before life, even though he's never been a head coach. But maybe he's seen this before. And like he said, at the end of the day, he wasn't selfish. He didn't do this to put himself, to give himself 15 minutes of fame. He did it for the kids. Anytime you do things for the kids to try to make a more positive environment, I'm with it. Did he do it right? Maybe not. But I think he did it all for the kids.
Well, this is just one of those situations again where negative press can, and like you said, can produce positive move.
Right.
Can produce a positive move.
Because you're going to have to do something.
It's one
If
of
they
those-
don't clean it up now, then
So it's all bad. Who gonna come? Well, somebody's gonna coach. Oh,
right.
Incidentally,
But what kids are going to go? Who's going to want to attend the school?
well, that was the other thing he talked about. So, information purposes, Ed Reed was assistant D-back coach for Buffalo in 2016. So he's had an assistant coaching job in the past. When Rex Ryan got let go out of Buffalo in 17, he didn't stay on. But one of the things that Ed Reed spoke about was females in skimpy clothing, and Bethune-Cookman, and just the whole culture is one of the other things he spoke about. So there's a host of things, I guess, that kind of evolved from what he's talking about, the doctor being the interim doctor, interim president, is really just battling everything, saying, hey, this isn't that, this is this. And in my mind, he's not accepting any responsibility, interim or not.
And he should, because it's his house.
He should,
That's your house,
yeah.
whether it's
It's
6
your
months,
house.
a year, whatever the case may be.
That's right.
He wants
And
to
that's
blame it
another
on 2
challenge.
hurricanes and
It's Tuesday.
and COVID. You know,
Ford ain't making Explorer no more.
exactly. I mean, that's what he would. You know, he's looking for scapegoats. You know,
So
I'm gonna have to listen to some more chatter about it, because really, I can't really make a judgment call really too much on it without really researching. Now you guys got me wanting to research it a little bit more, so I can actually get a better perception of what was in his mind. You know, what he was thinking, maybe, or something like that. You guys done opened up the piece now for me to really
That's right.
do a little bit more research.
well, anytime it's for the kids, I got to roll with them.
Yeah. I got that.
Our
I
black
got
kids need it.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
need it. They need.
We need all the They need all the positivity they can get
They
from whatever
need
angle
it.
they get it.
They need it bad.
Yeah.
They need it because we're dealing with a lost generation out here.
Ooh, yeah.
No,
And-
with 2 lost generations.
Several, right? And it's going to be more in the future. So it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. So, you know, speaking of him, you know, even though I'm not saying he's a parent to every child there, but he looks at himself as the parent to every child there. And I guess he was just frustrated. I guess
And that
really
was a short
frustrated.
run. That wasn't even
Right.
That wasn't even 30 days. So imagine.
You know,
Wow.
and a Christian school too. I think he expected to see more, and he may have knew what he was walking into. But maybe he felt, well, by the time I get there, they will make some improvements.
That might be true.
Right.
At least, maybe not roll the red carpet out, but at least, have a valet out there to take my luggage in.
Right.
have something. Greet me with a hamburger.
A couple hot dogs or something.
Right, right. Instead of handing me a can of Raid, he walks in and say, "Here, take this Raid and this bleach and
A little Fabuloso.
right."
Oh man.
But like I say, if one positive thing comes out of it, I say good accomplishment.
Yeah.
Maybe wrong way, but good accomplishment.
Well, I feel like a mistake is only a mistake if it's left one. And what I mean by that is, especially when you're in the limelight, you know what I mean?
He tried to right us wrong.
Yeah, as long as you don't leave it,
Right.
if you make correction,
Right.
I got respect for any man that.
Right.
If it's me, I don't care. Even if it's me, I mean, if I get out and done something, and I've done something, especially in the public eye, and that is not conducive of what it should be, then. And it's my fault, and I have some fault in it.
You're going to try to right that
I'm going to
wrong.
try to find some. If I got any integrity
And conscience.
and conscience, I'm going to try to right that wrong. And so if I try to right that wrong, in doing so, I correct the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't be held, for that mistake that I made and looked at and judged, quote unquote, by that particular mistake that I made for the rest of my life, which leads me to a whole lot of other subjects. I mean, with the prison systems and recidivism and, how the things that happens when people get out of prison. Some guys that, come out, went in prison, was only in there for maybe some minor stuff that really didn't deserve to be in there like that. And, then get out, maybe one-time offense and get out, and then they're judged by that for the rest of their life. And then it's hard for them to even get a job to take care of themselves or can't take care of their family or forget taking care of a family.
But, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same principles. That, you know what I'm trying to say. So if he tried to straighten it up, I think people should lay off of him.
Right.
And let him, and like you said, I think it's going to turn out to be, got to be some light at the end of the tunnel, I believe.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
But what's very interesting about the whole thing is I haven't heard one kid speak against him or contradict anything he said. Only people that's contradicting what he's saying is the staff. Yeah. It's the ones that's prospering off of their position.
Ristic, what's your take on that?
Kids are not going. They like him. I like him. When he went on his rant, he knew what he was doing. He knew he wasn't going to have that job. But like you guys said, he knew it would bring light to the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it a calculated move? I feel it is. He's willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the kids.
That's a good, yeah.
I'm giving it to you both ways.
Right, right. You're on the fence.
I'm not on the fence.
Okay. But you weighed it.
He's just letting us know that he...
And the positive outweighs the negative.
That's
all right.
the bottom line.
I don't mean to speak for you, but...
He did it for the kids. When he was riding, he knew if he did this, he wasn't going to get that job.
Right.
Period.
Right.
But from a coaching standpoint, I was giving you from a
Excuse me there, brother.
But from an individual and a man standpoint, I know that he knew what was the outcome if he do this on social media. But from a coaching standpoint, he was dead wrong. But from a man and a father, he was dead right.
Sure.
Right. There you go.
So the light of the tunnel is like what you said, a roundabout way to get for the kids to expose this, and hopefully all other HBCUs get their act together to get more coaches like Eddie George.
Exactly.
Okay. Now you just scored big points with me, freak.
You know,
You get
it's
points.
more than just Ed Reed.
Right.
They're going back to give back.
Okay.
To try to elevate the HBCUs to the university.
He's coming around, y'all.
He's coming around.
He's coming
You
around.
got to understand.
15 minutes ago, Ed Reed
No.
was dead.
Yeah,
he was
because
toast.
that was the coach.
He was toast.
That was the coach.
His head was on a chopping block.
had a
It's still on a chopping
The
block.
guillotine, rather.
If you call coach out, I'm gonna put it back.
All right.
But this is Lynn, the man, the father.
Okay.
talking.
I'm glad you're speaking with emotion.
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm talking
that's
about. That's the
different.
I'm glad you're
That's
speaking with
different.
emotion.
That's that Ed Reed emotion.
Right.
That's the different.
Right.
I am a coach, but I'm also a father,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There it is.
and I am a
And I
man.
can
There it
appreciate
is.
that. I can
Right.
appreciate
There it is.
So I live two different hats, but they walk together.
I can appreciate that.
That's why you got.
You just
that.
revitalized yourself,
that's-
man.
that
You just
sounded better.
revitalized yourself.
you
Yeah,
got what
yeah,
you
you
got.
did, because I was a little concerned there for a while.
Don't be.
It sounded
Don't
like you
be.
personally wanted to go visit Ed Reed and say, man, you
I
was
come to see
wrong.
you.
From
Man,
the
I-
coaching,
Right.
from the coaching tree, because we need more black coaches.
This is true.
So we have to really hold ourselves to a higher standard.
And
true.
like they always say,
I agree with
sometimes
that,
you
yeah.
have to, sometimes you have to come raw
Yeah, that's true. That's
for them
true.
to understand where you're coming
But
from.
you got to know
That's
when.
true. But you got
And you
to know.
got to, and you got to be willing to sacrifice your goal.
I think timing is everything. I think
Yeah,
he did it
yeah.
at the perfect time.
I got you, freak. Yeah.
I think
Did
he
he?
did it. I think his
Did
timing
he?
was good.
I think
think-
I think if he had took the job and then got in there
Okay.
and got his feet down, then exposed everything. Got away. So when they try to get rid of him, this backlash.
But then it would have been all about him.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd have
Still-
been all
still-
about him
still-
then. Now
no,
he's
you
made
go
it.
in, listen,
He's
wait a
made
minute,
it
wait a
all
minute.
about the kids now.
It
You
might
go
look-
in.
Yeah.
You say,
Like
I'm
I said, he sacrificed.
You go in.
Yeah.
You go in. Let me finish. You go in and you get established. And then you come out after that first year and you let everybody know, I'm not leaving. I'm doing this for the kids. But Bethune, they need to upgrade everything. They need to find a way to give back to the athletic department. That's what Dion
And
did.
we all know how that goes. Checks in the mail. We're
Yes,
working
ma'am.
on
Not
it.
necessarily.
Call me when I get back from Tahiti or Hawaii. But right now,
How did Jackson State do?
right? Pardon me.
How did Jackson State do? When
I
prime
don't know if
time
that.
got
I
there?
don't know if that school was as bad off as this one though. I don't know.
solid question. That is solid.
Right. We don't know the conditions of that school, and I'd be willing to bet the conditions of that school wasn't like the conditions of this school. And and the reason I say this is, I know they probably do have funding issues, but I'm sure there's a lot they could have done
That was my next
to
question.
try to spruce it up a little bit. Just try to.
That was
clean
my
it.
next
How much
question.
does a little bleach cost? How much? You know what I'm saying?
Fabuloso.
Yeah.
Just like my man said, he said crackheads were just walking across the field, coming
Exactly
here.
right.
Yeah.
They could have gave him a couple of dollars and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
Crackheads.
take this bleach,
He said skimpy clothing. That's-
right? Take
that's
this
what he said
bleach
to the
and go
public.
scrub some walls." And you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
right.
So would you,
I think
would you
I
agree?
think a lot more could have been done.
Could have been
did,
done.
Did
yeah.
they have to rebuild the whole
Right,
school?
right, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
no. But we've seen, and Mr. Wright,
Yes.
you know property.
Yes.
You know what property looks like when you buy it.
Absolutely.
You know what it takes to make it livable.
That's correct.
I mean, do you have to be a millionaire to do
You do
that?
not have to be a millionaire. You do not.
Well,
You
coming
know.
from the standpoint, D. Wright, you should know this, and I know you know. If we know that the HBCUs have a stigma. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? As us being black people, and any black organization, whether it's HBCUs or any black organization, business period, is gonna have somewhat of a stigma attached to them because we black. So we think we know. You would think that we would know that going into it. So now, like earlier, we was talking about, okay, now, so we here we are. Okay, you go to this guy's house. Okay, the big CEO, he's the big man. He's the big man in charge. You go to his house, he's living well. He's living high on the hill. He got his Benz and his Bentleys and all this crap or whatever, and this and that and the other. But the school is falling apart. Well, let's use that as an example. So let's say, whose fault is it? Is it funding? Is it strictly funding?
It's the board.
Right. Okay, look, is it anything, this is the question that need to be asked. Is it anything that we can do to fix it? In other words, if my dad was a drunk, and everybody knew my father was a drunk, he drank, and all he did was get drunk all his life, okay, do that mean that his children, or let's say, do that mean that I have to turn out to be just like him? No. Because I can learn from his mistakes. I don't have to make the same mistakes he made. I can learn from his mistakes and rise above. So when black people, any black people, any black organization, we come together and build something, you know that we already got this thing attached to us anyway. So we can't always put the blame on funding or no more than anything else. We have to take some of that responsibility for ourselves.
This is true.
And be able to say, okay, yeah, clean my office up. It's my responsibility to clean that office. If we,
I bet his office was clean.
Yeah.
Bet it was spotless.
You better believe it. You better believe it was. So he can't be, you know what I'm saying? If I'm the president of a company, this is my company. You think I want to see my company look like that, and I'm going to have my pockets fat, but my company going to look like a piece of crap?
Now, speaking of that, there's a good question that Roland Martin raised. Is like, what's the alumni doing? They don't want to contribute. Why? And the guy dodged that question. What's his name? Drake?
Yeah.
It's the board.
He died. He kept dodging that question.
Yeah. But is the board, the whole board, is
Why?
the board
Why
black?
is it the alumni?
Let me ask you a question.
Because
Is the board black? Excuse me.
I would
if-
imagine so, or not.
If the okay,
Probably.
so let's just say, all right, I doubted that the board is probably all black, but let's say it's predominantly black. Okay. Then okay, now here the truth still goes back to, hey, we can't point the finger. No, we overruled. You understand? The only reason Vietnam lost the war, we lost the war against Vietnam was because the majority overruled. Them Chinamen was coming up out the brook, dropping out of trees, coming up out of the ground and everywhere. It was too many of them. We couldn't win. So if we overrule, now you might be a couple whites on the board. Okay, you might have a few whites on the board somewhere. But if we overrule, if we the majority, see where I'm headed? Then why is our organization in shambles?
That's just like you have your greasy spoon restaurants, your neighborhood restaurants. You have people that will patronize them until they see something that just doesn't look right. And they say, wait a minute, all this food's coming out of a can. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's buying meat from Save-A-Lot. But his prices is like, it's a 5-star restaurant.
Okay.
And you're like, what are they doing with the money?
Right.
And I say that in comparison to like the alumni. The alumni is looking like, where's all this money going that the contributions that we're making? Where's it going?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that they're looking for a return on their money because it's not an investment, and which it is an investment, in other words, because they're investing in the children. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do believe that's why a lot of the alumni stop making contributions.
They need to go to the board.
They're not seeing where the money's going.
Well, they need to go to the board meetings.
Right.
If they're not happy and not seeing what they putting their money out there for, that's where you raise HELL at.
Right, but
that's where you get that man in charge of the university, get him up out of there.
Right.
Because you are the alumni and you carry a lot of weight. And if you go to
the alumni is the school.
That's right.
So there you go to the board meetings. When I was on part of board for 8 years, all that new development at Kent. I had to sign off on it. You know, so when they come to the meetings and they voice their opinion, and then we had to talk about it. That's the same thing with school. The alumni need to go to the board meetings, full force, have it in writing, have it in the records, and they can make a difference. Not just stop giving, go participate, bring bodies. Bodies make a difference.
This is true.
That's true. That's true.
If you guys don't
And that's the
mind-
problem. But see, that's the
problem.
And that's the problem. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You know,
We talk it,
but
but we don't work it.
This is true. This is
there it is. There it is.
If you gentlemen don't mind, I would like to give a shout out to Hoban's head defensive coach. I think I got it right, which is Carlos Clipper.
Okay.
And you guys know Carlos Clipper?
Garfield, yeah.
Heard the name.
He's a big name. He's a big name, and we work together. I'm not going to say where we work at, but anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to him, and he's done a great job
Okay.
at Hoban
Oh yeah, we know.
and the
Carlos.
position he holds there, and he's very I don't know how to word this, but anyway, he's very good for the children there, for what I understand. So
How long
I
have
like
he
to
held
give
that?
I like to get a big shout out to Carlos Clipper.
Flip.
Great. That's cool. That's great. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Garfield alum, I believe. Yeah.
How long have he held that position? I'm trying to think that if I kind of heard of his name.
It's been some years.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Oh, you've heard of him, or do you know him personally?
Not personally,
But you know of him.
I know him and know of him.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
So we're like last 10 years, 10 years,
I'd say I don't know, maybe 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah, but he's a good man, and I admire him because what he does, he's not selfish with it. He's doing it for the kids.
Okay.
He's doing it for the kids, and
Yeah, hold on.
he's a unique individual.
All right.
Well, with that said, we're going to take a 5-minute out.
Oh yeah, we'll shake this down
All right.
and go from there, y'all. All right.